OceanGate Enterprises is going to get the living hell suit out of them for this horrific tragedy that happened with their Titan Submersible, which was this hunk of shit that they had 5 people aboard, went down to view the Titanic just a week ago, and this thing imploded, killed everybody aboard. This is something that should have never happened. It's just an unbelievable tragedy. So what's going to happen is you're going to see a bunch of wrongful death lawsuits from the relatives of the people who were killed. And the issue that's come up are these liability waivers. And liability waivers, apparently, the people aboard signed these waivers, and the issue is whether that protects the company from any lawsuits. I think that these liability waivers are going to be completely useless. So they signed them and they put these people into this sardine can, and they were all killed, and the liability waivers are not going to be effective at all. The company is going to try to, use them, which they would, be assumed that they would, but it's not going to work. So when you have a sporting activity, a recreational activity being put on by a company, usually the assumption of the risk doctrine comes into play for regular injuries that happen, usually where there's no negligence on the part of the company running the event. Now, if you have negligence on the part of the company running recreational activity, something like this or any other kind of activity that's outdoors or people have a risk of getting injured, and there's what we call ordinary negligence, those liability waivers can actually protect the company in those situations. That's ordinary negligence. Where the liability waivers fall short is going to be where you can establish gross negligence, okay, which is a higher level of negligence or reckless disregard, you have recklessness or any higher degree of culpability or fault. Where you can show that, the liability waivers are completely useless. They will not protect the company at all. I think in this case, it's going to be very easy to prove that there was gross negligence here, that OceanGate Enterprises was beyond negligent. There's stories coming out now about experts telling OceanGate what kind of safety testing they needed to do, what kind of certification process this submersible needed to go through, and they ignored all kinds of recommendations from experts on what they needed to do to keep this thing safe. So that is, and this happened several years ago, so they were on notice that there were some serious safety problems with these ridiculous little submersibles, and they didn't do anything about it. So that's where you're going to show gross negligence, reckless disregard, indifference to the safety of your the people participating in your activity. So the liability waivers are not going to protect these people. There's going to be wrongful death lawsuits. They're going to go after the insurance policy limits, possibly beyond that. Who knows if this company has any assets or how this case will get resolved. I don't know. But you're definitely going to see some big wrongful death lawsuits, and it's pretty clear that OceanGate's going to have some substantial liability, and there's going to be some obviously massive damages here. So we'll see how the lawsuits play out.